Has WWE changed their Royal Rumble plans from Roman Reigns to Bron Breakker winning the men's Royal Rumble? You see, there's a report that just came out today that said the favored wrestler to win the Royal Rumble match in Saudi Arabia is Bron Breakker. Now, the last time I was on here, we were talking about Roman Reigns potentially taking that spot and going on to face the WWE champion, which is Cody Rhodes right now. But it looks like WWE, according to this report, they might be looking at Bron Breakker to win the Rumble and main event at WrestleMania for the world title. The thing about this is it's a little bit contradictory to the creative planning they put in place because they're going to have CM Punk versus Bron Breakker happen on the it's the first night of Raw. No, sorry, the first night of Raw. The first Raw of the new year, which I believe is January the 5th. And they've already scheduled this as a world title match. So it kind of shows us that if Breakker's going to win the Rumble, it's likely he will not be winning the championship from CM Punk, if that is very true. Um, if Breakker ends up winning the Royal Rumble, then we could take this in many different directions. But what I've heard from a lot of folks is they believe that Bron Breakker is not ready for the main event scene. The complaints have been that he is getting to the top too soon. It's too forced, it's too soon, and fans may see him as WWE shoving him down their throats, kind of like what they did with Roman Reigns back in 2015. I can assure you this: Bron Breakker is not overrated, and he is most definitely not being forced down anybody's throats. He is the real deal. Now, what I would have done with Bron Breakker, now since we're looking back on it, we're looking back and we're looking at the year and we're looking at how this entire year played out. If it was certain that John Cena, that heel turn that took place, if The Rock was not going to be on television to be able to support that role in Cena turning heel, there is a different way they could have went about the Cena WrestleMania matchup. Instead of having faced Cody Rhodes, what we could have done was we could have started building up a brand new star in Bron Breakker. We could have had Bron Breakker face off against John Cena. We could have had Breakker eliminate John Cena at the Royal Rumble, the one where Jey Uso came out victorious. We could have had Breakker eliminate Cena at the Royal Rumble. We could have planted the seeds for John Cena versus Bron Breakker to be the WrestleMania match where he put over Bron Breakker. And then the next night on Raw, you still have everything else play out. Breakker debuts in the Vision. Could you imagine the kind of rocket you would strap on this guy? He just beat Cena the night before, and now he's with Seth Rollins. That just elevates the group. It elevates Bron Breakker. He's set for the entire year because he just got a win over John Cena. And I'm saying all of this now as we're looking back on it. If the Cena heel turn was going to go the way it went, if they knew the fact that The Rock was not going to be able to play that role beforehand, how about we take a different route with this and we decide not to do the heel turn because it's going to end up giving us backlash. If you did it that way, then Bron Breakker at this point would have been in a much more favorable position. I think he's still pretty good. I think he's still on his way to superstardom. But I think if we're talking about how we could have used that effectively, we could have done two things there. We could have given Cena the platform, and we could have given Braun Breaker the win, because now we'd be talking about Breaker in the world title spot. So it's just me giving an idea. I know we always have ideas when something is over, but again, if the plan was for Cena to turn heel and the way that it went, if they knew The Rock was not going to be there, they knew that the components were not going to fall in line for them to actually execute this successfully. We could have used his time a bit more effectively. So now, if we go into uh, the Royal Rumble, we could see Braun Breaker win, and if he does win, that could lead us to a couple of different outcomes. So we know that Breaker pinned CM Punk, and for some reason, like let's say, I'm not sure how they could book the match on Raw, interference perhaps. I'm not really sure what happens, but if um, Breaker loses, then you have that rematch for WrestleMania. The other opportunity they have in line is Roman Reigns. Now, we have to we have to think about this because they did say that Survivor Series was going to give us an idea of the main event. If it really is Cody and Reigns, which at this point I'm looking at where they're going in 2027, and I believe that they are planning to do The Rock versus Roman in Saudi Arabia in 2027. If that is the case, then it's likely, it's very likely that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, they want to have that this year, this upcoming year, so that Roman can win the title. And he can take that, he can basically have the title for that year and do what they were wanting to do last year, and instead do it for 2026 into 2027. You build up Roman Reigns as the sort of, we call him anti-hero, I guess. He's not really a baby face, but comparing him to The Rock, he's definitely more. He's going to be more cheered than The Rock is. So then you would have the Reigns and The Rock mega showdown at WrestleMania. So if that's the case, then we may not see Roman and Braun Breaker. We may not see that match. Originally, I was thinking that's the way they'd want to go, but I feel as if Roman Reigns' brand is, it doesn't really match with the world title. Like his brand has been built around the WWE title. Some guys, they're just better off holding one title versus the other because of what it represents. Perhaps they've built a legacy with that title, so therefore it matches more of who they are and what their representation is in the company. And Roman Reigns is the top guy, whether you like him or not. He is the top guy. The other opportunity they have is Brock Lesnar. Now, this is actually the person that I thought, me personally, I thought this is what we were going to see at War Games, having sort of tension between the two, which would kind of lead us to think, you know what, they could plant the seed for the Royal Rumble. Lesnar gets eliminated by Breaker or something of that nature, and that's where they start building it up. They could still do that. However, if the plan is, Braun Breaker wins the Rumble, then he'll probably challenge for the world title. So I don't really see a situation where, unless Braun wins the title beforehand, that he would face Brock Lesnar at this year's WrestleMania. So I don't think that's happening anymore. The last one, and this is likely not to happen, but it's the last opportunity. Seth Rollins, if he's medically cleared. I predict that it's likely we will see Rollins back, but we probably won't see him in time for WrestleMania season. I think we could see him on the Raw after Mania. You could save him for that night to really shock the world as, Braun Breaker, he wins the world title. He's having this celebration on Raw, and then, boom, Seth Rollins' music hits. He's out there, right? And he's there to get revenge. And then you have that storyline play out into the later part of the spring and summer season. So those are the possible matches that we could see with Braun Breaker. And I'm still like, I'm in between. Like I believe that we could either it's probably CM Punk at this point, but you know there's a good chance it could be someone else. I'd like to know your opinions on this. If you guys have any thoughts on like if Breakker was to win the Rumble, if it's no longer predicted to be Roman Reigns, if it's going to be Bron Breakker, who would you like Braun to face at WrestleMania? Would you like it to be Roman Reigns? Would you like it to be CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, somebody else? Leave your comments in the comments below. Let me know, and I will make sure to respond to all of them. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.